a AP. Happy and you know it's a AP.
What's good? It's AP. 1 in a billion and I'm back. If you in my crew, if you in the body, say oh, 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 oh. It's the body. Guys, so you know, about a week ago or so, I talked about the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight. And you know, I had a very quick reaction to the fight. And the controversy was in the long countdown. The long countdown delay during Deontay Wilder's knockdowns of Tyson Fury. So you got a bunch of people who like,
oh, what is he talking about? He's just, a Wilder fan. Oh, he doesn't know the game. You're just a casual. You don't know boxing. It's this gonna count. It's that gonna count.
So I guess, Andre Ward, you know, one of the greatest of all time, one of the pound for pound best. I guess he's just a casual as well then, right? You know, because you're the genius, you know what I mean? You know all about the sport more than him, right? Anyway, so here we are a week later, and I keep looking this way because I'm reading an article that was written by Joe Rogan, and with Joe Rogan's the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. He went into detail over the same exact thing. Let me read some of this for you guys. Let's see. So, it says footage has since emerged showing that the reason for a slower countdown than usual was because Mora, that's the referee, paused to tell Wilder that he needed to go back to a neutral corner while the count was being carried out. Yeah, we all knew that. But that did not stop fighting commentator Rogan from claiming something more sinister might have been involved. This is what happened. The referee is supposed to go 1, 2 when the guy goes down. But if for any reason he has to interrupt the count, you're supposed to pick up the count where the ringside counter has it, he said on his episode. So there's a guy who's counting ringside and he'll keep the count going. So if you're at like 1, 2, and then the ref is like, hey, go to your neutral corner. Well, that other guy is supposed to be like 3, 4, 5, and then you continue. But that other guy did not do that. Okay? So when I said there was a conspiracy there, I meant it. So he goes, Mora goes back. He goes back to 3, 4. And how many seconds that passed? And then in between 5 and 6, there were like 3 seconds that passed. So many of you just can't count. That's the problem, because you don't want to count, because you're so used to watching Rocky movies when your guy comes back victorious, or you watch wrestling and you think it's Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the Rock or something, and you can just say 1, 2. No, that's not the way that it works. I used a stopwatch and I showed you that it was more than 10 seconds. More than 10 seconds. Okay? So it is supposed to be that way. So Rogan is not the only big name. Okay, so Rogan went back to say that without a doubt, it was a long count. And that he said, I think it's either an error or corruption. Most likely an Erica. I said an Erica. Most likely an error. Most likely the guy's panicking. Okay. Most likely is corruption. I've been watching boxing since I've been a little kid. I was watching boxing and back when almost every fighter would fight. It was crazy. Back in the days, especially, it was crazy. So I watched rest in peace, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. I mean, he just gave it to Julio Cesar Chavez. just knew Chavez was about to have a loss after this fight. He didn't even touch Sweet Pea Whitaker the whole fight. It was masterful what was done to him. But at the end of the fight, no, they gave it to Chavez. Many fights in the 80s, 90s, the decision would always be a bad decision. Always. I was actually shocked when Floyd Mayweather became champion at how many decisions that he won. Back in the day, some of those fights that Mayweather had, those decisions would have been reversed and he would have been the loser. But, you know, it's about corruption. I'm not saying that Mayweather didn't win. But what I'm saying is when certain people are in control, when certain people are the breadwinners, are the cash cow, when they're the A side and not the B side, things just go into their favor. That's just part of the game. For instance, how many people would like to see King Kong Ortiz have had a chance to fight against the Gypsy King, against Tyson Fury? How many people would like to see that? Well, we'll never see that because they don't want King Kong winning those belts. I think King Kong is a good match for Tyson Fury. But, you know, after Wilder knocking him out those 2 times, he becomes more damaged goods. You know what I mean? It's like after what Andre Ward did to Kovalov, Kovalov became damaged goods, and look what what's-his-face did to him. Look what Canelo did to him. He put him to sleep. So, you know, once you start getting knocked down like that, start getting knocked out, you're not the same. What I will say is Deontay Wilder's knockdowns were more of a fatigue knockdowns than they were like, oh man, like he's just about to just die, like knockdown. Although Pacquiao came back from the craziest I'm about to die knockdown from Marquez. So it's possible that anybody can come back from those kind of knockdowns. So, you know, but I remember back in the days watching the Sugar Ray fights, watching so many, just, you know, I haven't even brought up the Tyson fights, all that. I've been a fan of boxing for years, and just like Mike Tyson should have won against Buster Douglas, but you know, they cheated on the count then. So this kind of stuff, it happens, and you never know what's going behind scenes. You never know what the spread is, and you know where the money is. Y'all don't know that. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that I like one fighter better than the next or anything like that. I just call it like I see it. When I see something that's a conspiracy, I bring it to your attention, whether you like it or whether you're not. But you can't say anything about me, because I am a freaking genius, baby. I love y'all, man. I love y'all so much. So I won't even read nothing else. Oh, so it says UFC light heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier also said that it was a crazy slow count. And then just like I said, they're saying the same thing, that the fight was a great fight, and at the end of the day, the better boxer won the fight. So Tyson Fury is a much better boxer than Deontay Wilder, which is why he won the fight. But had the fight just ended early, who wins earlier fights? Punchers win earlier fights. Boxers win 12-round fights. So if you are a puncher, go out there and punch. Do your thing. Get the guy out of there, because when it comes to the boxing skills, he could take advantage of that on you. That's my advice. But in any event, I just wanted to just, chime in and just let y'all know it ain't just me just making it up. The world is talking, and don't be mad because a brother is not afraid to talk. Y'all know where to find me. And P, 1 in a billion. I see y'all on the Black Tube. I'm out. Like, comment, share, subscribe now.
Happy and you know it, say, hey.